start again. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls injury report ahead of our next game against the Charlotte Hornets. It seems like, again, as positive as the Bulls has been over the last few weeks, I would say, they've now come to a very, negative stance at the moment with that Indiana Pacers game. Now, it is just one game, and it's embarrassing, and it kind of reminds us of what we've always known with this Bulls team, the inconsistencies, the drop-off that they can have, and how they do crumble under pressure. But whatever the case may be, our next game is against the Charlotte Hornets, and I sincerely believe in every sense of the word, it is going to be a must-win game for the Chicago Bulls. But not just that, will the Charlotte Hornets adapt and try to, copy what the Indiana Pacers tried to do in that game? Because at the end of the day, it is a copycat league. Everybody says it. If something works for a team, it might be able to work for another team as well. We'll have to find out all of these situations in this video. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to The Bull Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and their chances to walk away with a win against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, we need a response. There's no other way to put it. A response is absolutely necessary in our next game against the Charlotte Hornets. If we walk away with an incredibly embarrassing loss in this game against Charlotte, or if we don't compete against Charlotte, or we somehow, some way find ourselves in another losing streak against the Charlotte Hornets, it's going to be a really ridiculous feat that the Chicago Bulls have, gone through. The inconsistencies are truly getting ridiculous for this team. And at the end of the day, I know that we're not necessarily going to be a top team in the Eastern Conference. Again, I do feel like at this point, top 4 is pretty much gone for the Chicago Bulls. I can't see us getting into the top 4 race, knowing that other teams in the Eastern Conference will continue to win. If we even continue to win, it's very, very hard to get into that top 4. It's pretty difficult to get into that top 6 as well. But for the Bulls, the more they lose, the better chance that they're falling into the play-in. I don't think we're going to be a team that falls out of the play-in tournament. I think we have too much quality in terms of that. But at the same time, these inconsistencies are really putting us in a very worrying situation at the moment, to the point where you do feel like we might not even get into that play-in tournament. So there is a lot to discuss there. But looking at this injury report for the Chicago Bulls, it's a fairly decent one, ladies and gentlemen. Goran Dragic is still listed as out for the Chicago Bulls, and the reason is that he's now getting reconditioned to play. He had a sickness, an illness, the game against the Pacers, I believe as well, and then now he's just being reconditioned to play. I guess for an older guy, that makes a little bit more sense. I don't think he has, with the young guys, they normally just can get back on their feet in an instant and just continue to play. Some of the older guys, it takes them a little bit more time, especially when, again, he's 36 years old and he's not really even playing that many minutes for the Chicago Bulls. So it does make sense in that way. Give him some time, let him recover, and get fully 100% healthy before he can play again. But outside of that, Javonte, I believe, will still be out for this game. He should be reevaluated very soon if he hasn't been already. And obviously, Lonzo Ball will be out as well. So that's really the injury updates for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not too certain about the Charlotte Hornets injury update. I apologize. I should have looked at it in advance. But looking at their team in the past couple of games, they do have some injuries as well. So look, this is a game in which the Chicago Bulls will be the favorites to win. No doubt about it in my mind, we are one of the favourites to win. Charlotte at the moment, I think, are 14th in the Eastern Conference, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they've climbed up, maybe they've even fallen below. But they're around the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So it is a game for us where we have pretty much, we are the favourites. The game is in our hands. Yes, we can let it slip like we have known to let it slip. But man, if the Bulls can't respond against that Pacers loss in this game against Charlotte, I don't know what to expect anymore. I fully 100% expect a comeback in many ways. I expect a response after that embarrassing loss. And we'll have to wait and see whether or not it can be delivered. But don't be surprised if Charlotte comes out second or third quarter in that game and decides to pressure the Chicago Bulls. Full court press us, half court press us, and try to make sure our guards cannot breathe. Because it seems like that's where most of our struggles are coming from at the moment. And those scrappy teams seems to get a hold of us because of that. Because they can apply the pressure and they can put the pressure onto us. I see Charlotte, the one thing you could give them, I don't think they're the best defensive team in the world. And I definitely don't think they're the best offensive team in the world, especially without LaMelo Ball. But one thing you can give them is that they're going to be scrappy and they're going to be very athletic. They're a very athletic team. So they have what it takes to full court press this Bulls team and make it very difficult for us. And as we've already seen this season, there is a possibility in which that could be, I guess, a big problem for us. We got to respond. That's all I'm going to say. And that's the injury report for the Chicago Bulls in this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. In a couple of hours time, we shall know what the Chicago Bulls will respond like. And my last message in this video, as I've said already before, it can't just be a one-game response. We've lost the pressure tactics a lot in the last year and a half. And yes, we can respond the next game when another team does it to us, but we don't respond 6 months down the line. It almost feels like we forget how to play when people apply pressure to us. Billy Donovan said it himself as well. I've already made a whole video about this, but you need a response, and the response at least starts against the Charlotte Hornets, and it needs to continue all the way through to the end of the season. That's how big this response needs to be, because crumbling under pressure cannot be a talking point for the Chicago Bulls anymore. And the more that it is, the more that I think a lot of people will be very upset with it. So with all that being said, have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.